there is a note here. I think people couldn't wait because today there is no satsang. Gross body is made up of 5 gross elements: air, space, water, fire, earth. Subtle body, 17 elements. What is the causal body made up of? Ajnanam. Simple. Yeah, don't get confused when we use the word causal body. Causal body means ignorance. Ignorance is the causal body. Okay? So that was easy. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Narayanav Paro Vyaktat Andamavyaya Sambhavam Andasyantastvime Lokaha Saptadvipa cha Medini. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Adveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Vicky, you can come take your seat. We are going to begin a new section starting with this verse 21 till about 27 I think or 28. So this is the section on a unique way of looking at Swadharma and being a responsible doer. As it is, one thinks I am a doer, correct? Until one gains the knowledge, what is the thought? I am karta, I am bhukta. I am the doer, I am the recipient of other people's doings also. This is the feeling, this is the understanding, or rather non-understanding becomes our understanding when the understanding is not, when the real understanding is not there. And so therefore what? So therefore first we start by doing whatever we are doing responsibly. The first aspect of responsibly is doing dharmically, of course, and the second aspect is also, it has another component. We don't go around thinking that we are the only people in the universe, therefore I can do whatever I want to do. Other people are around. There should be a certain, as there is inner growth, the inner growth is accompanied by a sensitivity. A sensitivity towards the situation, towards ecology, which we have already seen, how to do responsibility, how to take up responsibility and act responsibly towards the Jagat. That we have seen, and this section is going to extend that sensitivity and acting responsibly towards other people in the Jagat. Because there are other people. So there is if one is wanting this knowledge, the knowledge culminates in a jnana phalam. The fruit of this knowledge is absolute non-disturbance to anything that is there. Non-disturbance is very, very important, and so I grow into a being that doesn't cause disturbance. Who is a being who causes disturbance? Rakshasa, Asura. And so from Asura I have to become Sura. What is Sura? Don't say alcohol, that's a different meaning, okay? Yeah. So from Asura I have to be Sattvic, godlike. And so here there is a very beautiful section on taking responsibility for our actions in a very unique way, by seeing that my actions have an effect on other people. If I say something, it could be taken 100 different ways at least. Okay? So therefore, what should I do? What are my choices? Don't say anything at all. Okay? Whole life of Maunam. That's very boring. Why did Bhagavan give me vocal cords and voice box and tongue? If I were not meant to speak, I would have been born without any of these accoutrements. So going to Maunam is not an option. Life would be very inconvenient. You will have to take a slate and keep writing whatever you want. And there also, of course, if you are saying whatever is on your mind on the paper or on the slate, then Maunam is not even is moot point. It's not going to help anyway. What to do? And so therefore we can't not interact, we can't not relate, and we certainly cannot not talk. Refrain from activity and refrain from relationships, we cannot do that. Therefore, responsibly means dharmic actions. Secondly, sensitive to the presence of other people and situations, and seeing that the words are not hurting others inadvertently, or are up for any kind of a miscommunication. Because you can say it in many ways. People don't talk directly because sometimes it's uncomfortable. Somebody invites you to their house. You don't want to say, I don't want to come to your house. Does anybody want to do that? Nobody wants to do that. So how to say that in a way that is satyam, that is true, that is hitam, that is beneficial, and then it is priyam. Priyam means what? Pleasing to hear. And so this kind of a speech and this kind of interaction we practice everywhere, and as we grow in the world, then we have to understand that we are influencing somebody or the other. And we don't generally people don't have this ability to take the place, the God-given place for them in the world. There is a place where you belong. There is a place where everybody belongs, even the one who says, I was born by mistake and therefore I shouldn't even be here and therefore I have nothing to contribute. Many people think like this. Even though that may be the thought, there is still a place. There is a place for everybody and everything, because the birth of anything in the universe is not accidental, because it is part of a very big and infallible and deliberate plan. So this body-mind sense complex, which one calls oneself, is also part of this plan. And then, being part of this plan, it comes with certain responsibility, how to deal with the world and how to do this. And so here, yesterday, and just to connect from what we said yesterday, so yesterday we saw that Arjuna was told to be like the kings of yore, who commandeered a kingdom, and at the same time what did they do? They also were jnanis. And then, of course, then the question arises, how do we know they were jnanis? We didn't see them, we didn't interact with them, how do we know? Even if they were not jnanis, with this kind of an antahkarana, they would have gradually become jnanis. And so, because they did the karma with a sense of what? With a sense of tyaga, letting go of the results of action, wanting only one thing from the results of action. What is there to gain from the results of action? Antahkarana shuddhi. Please keep saying it before you sleep also, so that only in the dream also only what will come? Antahkarana shuddhi. And waking also, Antahkarana shuddhi only will come the whole time, 24/7. 3.5 years. Okay, yeah. So, so Antahkarana shuddhi only will keep coming in the mind, and so that is what has to be internalized here. So then Arjuna is also told, you are not a jnani. You are not a jnani, so therefore you have to do loka sangraha. What is loka sangraha? We saw first is leading one's own life dharmically, and then secondly what? The unmarga nivaranam. Unmarga nivaranam, unmarga means the potential to go against dharma on the part of humanity is there. And then if you are in a position, if you are also going against dharma, then never mind, this section is not for you. But if you are dharmic, you have a ethical responsibility, a moral responsibility to be able to bring others also out of the adharmic actions. Not people at random, people who you inspire naturally, such as family members, friends. Supposing a friend is going astray and has fallen into some dubious company, and you are there, you don't say, yeah, everybody has their own choices. Dharma is also a choice, and if they choose not to follow dharma, it's okay. No, it's not okay. So you can gently tell them, and if it is not working, you can sever the ties with them. That's what one has to do. So hopefully they will listen, because they went inadvertently, they have fallen into wrong company, and then because of that they are suffering. They don't even know how much they are suffering. And then so a timely advice by a good Samaritan like oneself, who is in a position to bring them back to this, to the path of dharma, this is called loka sangraha. And so this loka sangrahartham karma kartum arhasi, that is what we saw. We saw the thing. So you should see that the people who you influence, Arjuna, and then you influence who? Many people. Arjuna was not some roadside riffraff. He was a great warrior, a great leader. And the only one who had gone to heaven and come back while alive. Yeah, don't say even I went in my in between the last life and this life, I was also there. That everybody goes after death. But he was the only one to have gone alive and then come back. So he was very unique in all his ways. He was unique, and so therefore he is in a position. He is an influencer. This is the thing. YouTube influencer, Facebook influencer, and what's the other one? Insta influencer. Yeah, this is what is the next thing. Yad acharati shreshtha. Shreshtha means the most exalted person. I told you we have come a long way because this is Kali Yuga. In the olden times, Shreshtha means the one who was a great Jnani was called Shreshtha. A great leader who is also a great Jnani was called Shreshtha. And now what? Shreshtha means YouTube influencer. This is where we have come. So Shreshtha is a person whom people follow. Sometimes even without looking, blind following. Because they have charisma, they have reach, sometimes overreach they have. And then they have many followers who will do anything they tell them to do. These are all called Shreshthas. And then, so this is so however the Shrestha behaves, yadyad acharati, tattat eva itaro janaha. The other people also follow. They all have what is that called? Sheep flock mentality. The Shrestha bleats and the follower also bleat. The Shrestha jumps over something, the followers also jump. So like this, whatever the Shrestha does, they do. Whatever the Shrestha tells them to do also, what do? They do. Blind following. And this we see for celebrities, YouTube influencers. Just because somebody has a lot of followers doesn't mean that they are dharmic. Hitler also had followers. Yeah. Hitler also had followers, but what kind of even though he cannot be called Shrestha, but in a way he was influencing people and his book became the Veda. What was that name of the book? Mein Kampf. My struggles. What struggles he had? He made other people struggle. Yeah. Killed 6 million plus. We don't even know the numbers. What kind of a Shrestha? But then this can go the other way also, this kind of mass thinking. And there was another fellow. What was his name? Mooni. Some fellow. No. Moon. His name was Reverend Moon. And all the followers were called Moonis. One Korean person was there. Reverend Moon. Self-styled. And what did he do? He just told everybody life is not worth living, and tomorrow at 5 o'clock we are all going to take cyanide and then die. That's what they did. They went to some hilltop, went there and did their satsang, okay, and then after that they all drank cyanide and died. There was just this huge pile of dead bodies, all the followers gone. Useless. And then in China we had that, what was the name of the fellow? Red Book, Mao. And this Mao was another. Idiotic ideas. Didn't like birds. I mean, all the other problems were there, great problems with everything, but then did not like birds. Who doesn't like birds? What are they doing to you? And then when I went to Beijing for a conference, and then when I woke up the first morning when I was there, I woke up, something is odd. Second morning also something is very odd. And it was by the second midday I realized that in the morning, whichever country you go, you hear some chirping of the birds. Cheep, cheep, something. No, not a single bird. I said, where are the birds? Even if some of them migrate, others will be there. Some local fellows will be there. Some non-migrating species will be there. But there is no birds. Then I was told this horror story that he did not like birds. So what did the people have to do? So the people were told to take the 2 metal dustbin lids and go clang, 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 clang under the trees in the evening as the birds are coming to roost and come back to their nest. And so they would get panicked. And so if they were not clanging it, shots would be fired in the air. So they would get panicked because the tree is no longer safe to come back. And so they would just fly, and out of sheer exhaustion, with the wings are no longer working, drop dead. This is how all the birds were terminated. This is crazy thinking. And everybody follows. What for, I don't know. Killing people, everybody follows. Committing act of suicide, everybody follows. Killing birds and animals, everybody follows. And so, therefore, being a Shrestha is a position of great responsibility. So you don't want to become Mussolini and all these things. And there was one general also in Spain, Franco or whatever, all these dictators. So these dictatorial types, we don't need. We don't need people trying to tell us what to do. This is the problem. But then inside every person, this is a very pertinent discussion, inside every person is a feeling of wanting someone to save them. This feeling is there. I need somebody to lift me up and save me. And then what? If you want somebody to lift you up and save you, then what will happen? You are leaving the door open to all kinds of these charismatic cult type people to just come and do whatever they wanted to do. Mess with your mind, basically. So this kind of a savior psychology has brought all these untold things. If you really feel like you see, in the Hindu Dharma is not a salvific tradition. We say we are never bound to begin with. If you are not enslaved, then there is no reason to be saved. So this bondage which we talk about is what? Mithya bondage. Mithya bars of a mithya cage, and that is, I am seeing the bars, and everybody in my position is also seeing the bars, and then I go to the Guru says, what bars? You are free. Like that story of the cows. I have told the story of the cows, right? Yeah. Last course, okay, all right. So I have to say it in this course also. The Guru lived with the Brahmachari. They had 400 cows. And then what happened? One day, even in those times, they were thieves. What did they steal? They stole the ropes to tie the cows. The ropes did not turn into snakes, okay? Yeah. They were just ropes. They stole the rope. And so the Brahmachari had gone somewhere, shopping he had gone. He came back, and then I was aghast, not a single rope. How to tie the cows? He was in a quandary. Told the teacher what happened, because they didn't have drone delivery from Amazon, so they couldn't instantly get the rope, and they was in a very remote place. And then what happened? The teacher was not at all perturbed. Teacher said, just bring them, make them go to their stall, wherever their place is. There would be a little whatever, a wooden thing, post. Pretend to tie them. Pretend to tie them? Brahmachari said, yes, pretend to tie them. And he said, oh, I don't know how this is going to work, but okay. So the restless cow was pacing around. He made it sit, and pretended to tie. Immediately it just sat down nicely, began to chew the cud, very peaceful. Then another, all 400 of them, not a sound from them. Nobody is trying to escape, not a single cow is escaping, everybody happily sitting there. Brahmachari thought, forget Vedanta, the Guru has put a nice mantra on them, I need to get this mantra. Maybe it is a Vashikarana mantra, how to have cows in your spell. Maybe it will work with people too, who don't listen to me. I can say sit and they will sit. Stop arguing, maybe they'll stop arguing. I should get this mantra from the teacher. He made a note to the self. Note to self, get this mantra from the teacher. And then, but he was very worried, because even if a single cow goes, that would be the end of his 3-year course, okay? Yeah, and so what did he do? So he every 15 minutes came out of his room. All of them are there, he kind of eyeballed all of them, did a kind of a mental count, went back, closed the door. 15 minutes later again. Teacher snored very happily, nicely. And the next morning, he said, come, let's go to the water. Not a single one is moving. And then he said, look, I've had a sleepless night and you're troubling me here. And he took one rope and just no ropes were there, yeah. He took one stick and tried to, just gently tap the cow. The cow took as though beating and went this side, and when it was goaded from this side, it went this side, and it was doing a nice dance, this side, that side, this side, that side, but was not getting up. Guru went to the Guru. This mantra you have put on them is very powerful. Not a single one is going. Release them from the mantra. Guru said, idiot, where is my tea? They are tied. So, you tied them, didn't you? I as though tie them. Go and as though untie them. He said, what is this? Why is the Guru making me do this? He could just do some mantra and then release them. Okay, I'll do as he says. So he went and as though untied one. The cow was also eager to go to the grass, eager to go to the sunlight, eager to go to the water. All 400 of them just ran. So the bondage in the Vedanta Shastra is as though, like the cows were bound, the jiva also thinks he or she is bound. Like the cows were released, as it were, within quotes, the jiva also is released by the words of the Shastra deployed by the teacher. And so really, since there is no bondage, the savior mentality that somebody or the other should come and save me, this can prove to be dangerous and make one become vulnerable to the clutches of unscrupulous leaders. This is why this section is begun about what kind of leadership should be offered to the society. What kind of a Shrestha should I be, and how to recognize a Shrestha. Just because somebody is in a position of power doesn't mean Shrestha. It could be a corrupt politician for all you know. And all the scandals are there. Drugs, money, sex, you name it, all the scandals are there. They are under the carpet. Until when? Till the election is done. After the election, everything comes out. But then you have to bear with this politician for another 4 years, 5 years, whatever the tenure is. And so here, therefore, there is a very beautiful and a serious, sincere discussion on this leadership thing. So, introducing this section, Adi Shankara says, Loka Sangraha Kaha Kartum Arhati. Who has the right to get people out of adharma? Who has the right to bring people out of adharma? Who is the one who has the right? And then Because Loka Sangraha was bringing people out of adharma. Where do we know? Look at the last paragraph of the Bhashya of verse 20. What is Loka Sangraha? Loka Sangraha, what is that? Unmarga Pravritti Nivaranam. We can memorize this. Unmarga Pravritti means the potential to not follow dharma. Potential to go on the wrong path is called unmarga, pravritti, tendency, nivaranam, removal. And so we saw that. So now the very important question, any self-styled person can do Loka Sangraha? No. Kaha kartum arhati, and then katham cha, how to do Loka Sangraha and who should do Loka Sangraha. These two things should be discussed, which is why this whole section is begun. So, we saw the first line, Yadyad Acharati, whatever the Shrestha does, however the Shrestha behaves. Acharati means the behavior. From char to move, asamantat charati, acharati. Acharati means moves in certain ways, conduct. So then, Shrestha, the exalted leader, tattadeva itaro janaha, other people also follow this person. Saha yat pramanam kurute. Pramana here means not exactly means of knowledge, but belief system. Whatever their belief system, whether it's they are starting a new religion, so it is that is a belief system, or they are founding some kind of a way of life, that is their belief system. Like there will be some people who become influencers. Like for everything, it is like drink water. You have rheumatoid arthritis, drink 16 cups of water. And then you have a fever, drink 8 cups of water. You have something else, drink something else. Like this, keep on drinking water. There is the whole movement of drinking water. After that, what? Don't come out of the bathroom, that's all. So, what else to say? So, there are all these, what are they called? Fads. There are all these fads, and then people, do that. These fads are pramanas. One example of pramana is fads. Various fads are there, one cure for everything. And sometimes it works also, but anyhow, there is no such thing as one cure for everything, but sometimes people believe that, and then they try to sell the belief to others who follow them. This becomes a pramana. So pramana, I am just giving the example of pramana. Don't think what is that, Shabda pramana, Shastra pramana. No, may not be that. Maybe that, may not be that. So sayat pramanam kurute, whatever fad they start, lokah tad anuvartate. People will follow that only. Whatever the person does, everybody follows. And what kind of pramana? Vaidika pramana. They could be giving the pramana of the Veda, or it could be a Laukika pramana. Laukika pramana means their own pramana. Has nothing to do with the Vedas, their own pramana. Pramana here, the word pramana can be translated into authority. So, sayat pramanam kurute, whatever they authorize, whatever they consider to be a source of authority, everybody else also follows that thing only. Okay, Bhashya now. And so, yadyat karma acharati yeshu, in whatever the karma the person has their conduct, in whichever karma, who the Shrestha. Shrestha means pradhanaha, mukhyaha, the important person, important man, important woman. They just, so tattadeva karma acharati itaraha. So whatever they do, other people follow that also. Sometimes they try to look like the leader as well. This is also there. I went to one conference, another interfaith conference, where this particular leader could not come, one well-known leader. And then he had sent some disciples. And the disciples tried to just mimic, look exactly like him, not only in the dress, but also in the movement, in the conduct, in the behavior, in the mannerisms, in the way of speaking, everything. They were just like clones of this teacher. So this is what it shows. So achara of that leader has gone to all the followers. Whatever they say, these people also say. And then Bhagavan Krishna says is natural. Why? Because of that savior needing to be saved, needing to look up to somebody. Because one learns through role models. And to have a role model is not a wrong thing. To follow the role model is also not a wrong thing. But we have to be careful what we choose as role models. In fact, this is how the Ramayana starts. Konvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmagnyascha kritagnyascha satyavakyo dridhavratah. Like this, 16 qualities. Shodashakala Purushaha. The person, the perfect person, Bhagavan, will have 16 aspects. Everybody else has 15. And so 16 qualities, Narada is asked by who? Valmiki. Kaha no asmin sampratam loke. Sampratam means contemporary world. In the contemporary world, name me somebody who has these qualities. Gunavan, the one who is a decent person. Gunavan doesn't mean sattva, rajas, tamas, we have to get out of that thinking contextually. Viryavan, dharmagyaha, the one who knows dharma, the one who is courageous. Kritagyaha, the one who knows gratitude, the one who has an attitude of gratitude. Satyavak, the one who practices truth telling. Dridhavrataha, does whatever they are supposed to do. Whatever they say they will do, they do. Like this, 16 things he says. He says, don't quote me people from the Puranas and Itihasa and all that. I don't want to know anybody else. You don't say, in the olden days in Satya Yuga there was somebody like this. I don't want to know that. I want to know who is there now that I can follow. But you see, Valmiki had a good head on his shoulders. He knew what to ask for. And then Narada says, Ikshvakuvamsha prabhavo Ramo nama janai shrutah. Like this, he will begin the response. Janaihi Shrutaha, he is known by the people as Rama, the scion of the Ikshvaku family. And then Niyatatma, meaning he is a disciplined person. He is the embodiment of dharma, embodiment of truth. Everything that you are asking for is in this person. And that's how the Sankshepa Ramayana, consisting of 100 verses, begins. That's how it begins. Very beautiful. So you should know what to ask for. If you want to follow somebody, you should know who to follow. We cannot indiscriminately follow because the majority is following them. Because if the majority, takes cyanide, we can't also take cyanide. This is useless. If the majority falls in a ditch, we can't also fall in a ditch. And so here it says, Sayat pramanam kurute laukiko va vaidiko va, he is going to say. And then, so this is the yat pramanam Kincha, furthermore, sashreshthah yat pramanam kurute laukikam vaidikam va. So whatever pramana, whatever he or she considers to be the authority, whatever they authorize as valid, whether it's a diet, how to lose 100 kilos in 100 days, and how to look 16 when you are 66, okay, and then and how to become, there was actually a book, how to become, what was that, How to win friends and influence people. Yeah, there is a book like that. Yeah. So like this, the people will write. So whatever the pramana they have here, you understood the meaning of pramana, right? This is not a Vedantic pramana here. It just means whatever they think is the pramana, they think is the authority, everybody follows. Why is this given? So if you are a follower, beware. If you are a leader, double beware. You have the responsibility, Arjuna, because Arjuna is not a follower. What is Arjuna? Leader. So you have to be doubly aware. You have to be very, very careful of the example that you set. Now why is he being told this? Yuddhat palaitum ichhati, because he is about to want to be run off from the battlefield. And so he said, this is going to make mayhem. Because if the leader runs away, that is a conduct, correct? A conduct based on a pramana. What was the pramana? I don't want to kill these people. And I'm not equipped for this. I don't want to cause harm to my own people. This is the wrong pramana. So you are in an unenviable position, Arjuna, of making the right pramana or the wrong pramana. And if you desire to run away from the battlefield with the wrong pramana, what is the wrong pramana? Oh, Duryodhana, dear to me, Bhishma, my elder, Drona, my teacher, how can I Ishubhihi katham pratiyotsyami, how can I fight back to them? I can't do that. Therefore what? I am going to become a sannyasi. Nobody is going to validate your choice. Nobody is going to say you are great. Nobody is going to laud your choice either in the contemporary world or in the future. Future mothers will tell their future children, better study the Bhagavad Gita because you don't want to become like Arjuna. Better do this. And like the future, like the mothers, contemporary mothers, scare their children into eating and sleeping. How? If you don't eat, Ravana will come. Or if you don't eat, Duryodhana will come. Like this they will scare, and then later on they will also, the mothers will tell their children, don't stop behaving like Arjuna. So you will become a negative example. That is hardly the kind of Shrestha you want to be. So the future role model also is gone, and right now you are a role model, but you refuse to see and recognize the fact you are running away from that. And don't think that everybody will come to you with folded hands in Haridwar and say, oh, the great man who left the battlefield, the greatest, what is that word, pacifist. No, a passive person is not a pacifist. And in fact, forget pacifist, they will all show their fist at you. That is what they will do. They will hunt you down in Haridwar where you are sitting under a tree with a beard hoping to hide your identity. They will look closely in your eyes and they will say, what? You are that fellow who left the battle? And they will spit on your face and avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantastava samarthyam tatho dukkhatarannu kim. There is nothing worse than this, Arjuna. I am borrowing some things from the second chapter which are relevant. Avachya vadamscha bahun gadishyanti tava ahitaha. People inimical to you will use all kinds of 4-letter words which is beyond my vocabulary. I as Bhagavan should not say them. For me they are what? Avachya, navachya, not to be uttered. Unutterable by me words they will use. Which verse is this? Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tava ahitaha. Which verse? That's why we are having the afternoon Gita chanting classes, so that the recall is there, especially for the long-term students. And I am hearing nobody is going. 36. Okay? Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tava ahitaha. Nindantaha means they will all keep on criticizing, critiquing your samarthya, meaning they will say, you ran away from the battle. Why? Because you don't have what it takes. Duryodhana will publish in the newsletter, in the Kaurava newsletter, as soon as you leave the battle, he will say he was too puk to fight. What is puk? Frightened chicken. He was a chicken. He was not a human being, he was a chicken. Easily startled, chickens are. So, a person to be chicken-hearted. He was chicken-hearted, therefore he just ran away from the battlefield. And Duryodhana will say, then if he ran away from the battlefield, the whole battlefield belongs to us. Who won the battle? We did. He is going to publish that. And then they will all critique you. And then elsewhere in that same section, Lord Krishna says, Sambhavitasya cha akirtihi maranad atirijyate. Sambhavitasya, the one who was already celebrated. Sambhavita means celebrated as a hero. And that, the fall of that person is worse than death. Akirtihi means the being dragged into the mud, etc. Because what is Duryodhana going to say? Bhayad ranad uparatam. Left out of fear. Ran away from the battle. Why? Fear. Uparati, don't say it is Uparati, one of the adhikarithvam for Vedanta. Okay. Uparatam means ran away here. Disappeared from the battlefield. How? Bhayat, out of fear. Mamsyante, they will think. Who? Ahitaha. All your inimical people, they will think you ran away out of fear. Nobody is going to laud your bravery. Nobody is going to laud your love for your people. And so therefore, here is a very indirect, yet a very poignant verse on part of Bhagavan Krishna to direct Arjuna to take his place that Bhagavan has given him in the world, in the society, in his Swadharma. Very important verse. A very important set of verses are going to come. And so the pramana, that it all depends on the pramana. If you consider a wrong authority and if you tout that, all the other people will also follow. So the people on your side will also leave the battle and the wrong people will become even more powerful. This is not a responsible way of doing Swadharma. Swadharma is not always pleasant. If we want to do always what is pleasant, it is not possible. Even if you are not a mumukshu, you can't always do what is pleasant. Unpleasant things need to be done sometime. And so, Swadharma means what? You can't always do the pleasant things. You have to be ready to do the unpleasant. Why? For the sake of loka sangraha, for the good of the world. So therefore, better have the buddhi in the proper place. The buddhi should be in the proper place, guiding the jiva to do the correct thing. So without being a responsible doer, I cannot be akarta. This is the purport of this section. So how to do responsibly is also going to be talked about. So then Vaidikam va tadeva pramani karoti. This is again chvi pratyaya. That which is not a pramana is made into a pramana. That is the meaning of this pratyaya, this e, pramani karoti. And in Bhagavad Gita we'll hear in bhasmi bhuta, like this, like all these things. In Bhagavad Gita also many examples will come, chvi pratyaya. So then pramani karoti. So that which is made into a pramana, meaning they themselves, it's like a private pramana for all the people who are leading others. So you better be careful what you decide about this war. Yadi atra, in this context, yadi, if te loka sangraha kartavyatayam vipratipattihi, we have to say syat. We have to add one syat there, So, yadi atra loka sangraha kartavyatayam. So, in the performance of your job for the sake of the good of the world, loka sangraha kartavyata tasyam. So, loka sangraha kartavyatayam. Seventh case, in the matter of the performance of your duties, Vishaya Saptami. So, in the matter of the performance of your duties, when we talk about the performance of your duties for the good of the world, vipratipannaha vipratipattihi syat. Vipratipannaha, if you are vipratipannaha or if you have vipratipatti. What is vipratipatti? Full of doubts. Should I do this? No, I shouldn't do this. Should I do that? No, I shouldn't do that. Should I run away? No, how bad will it look if I ran away in the middle of the battlefield? Should I stay? Oh my God, the thought of staying is giving me a nervous breakdown. No, I should go away because my mental health and emotional health are very dear to me. That's what every book says. First you should take care of yourself, self-care, and then only the battlefield. So I need to retreat. Afterwards, dekha jayega. Let's see later what happens. If this kind of a thing you have. So vipratipatti was already used. Again, I think in the second chapter, towards the end somewhere, 50s it will be there. Shruti vipratipanna te yada sthasyasi nischala samadha vachala buddhi tada yogam avapsyasi. Which number? 53. Yeah. So Shruti Vipratipanna means if you are doubtful about the Shruti as Pramana, there, in that context. In 253, the same word is used. So, from Pat to fall, Pratipat, but here when you add the Upasargas, prefixes, the meaning changes. It doesn't mean fall. Here it means disturbed. Vipratipattihi te syat. If there is disturbance for you. Yadi loka sangraha vishaye vipratipattihi syat te tava. For you, if there is any kind of a problem, you are having problems, you are not, you are having lot of uncertainty. Vipratipatti can be taken to be uncertainty. So if you are having uncertainty, tarhi, and if you and the examples I gave of what were their names, Janaka, etc., did not convince you. You still looked unconvincing. Why not you look at me? I am standing right in front of you. You cannot say, oh, Janaka, Ajatashatru, what was the other one's name? Ashwapati, they have all died and gone. I am not dead. I am standing right in front of you. Look at me. Take me to be an example. Very sweet section it is. In the process of you becoming Shrestha, let me be the Shrestha for you so that you know who to follow. And when you follow the right person, then the right thoughts and the right buddhi will come to you also. How compassionate a teacher Lord Krishna is. We learn from this only. Very, very beautiful. So, here is the thing. Next one. Name parthasti kartavyam. Trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam varta eva cha karmani name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam Varta eva cha karmani. Look at me. Why should you look at me? He Partha, name asti kartavyam. Since I am Bhagavan, there is nothing for me to do. It's nice, no, to be Bhagavan? I also wish I was Bhagavan. Well, you can be Bhagavan. That is why we are studying self-knowledge. Because there is nothing that, once you get this knowledge, there is nothing that you have to do. Listen carefully. There is nothing that you have to do, but that doesn't mean you don't do anything. There are many things that you can want to do, there is nothing that you have to do. This is a very big difference. Usually what are the ajnanis doing? Have to. There is like a, what is that called? One clockwork. The ragadveshas come out of the heart, go behind, and then this clockwork, they wind you up. And then the jiva goes in circles until one is exhausted. Then the next day again, the ragadveshas wake up the person, give them a coffee and wind them up. The whole day going on in the powered by the ragadveshas. In fact, there is no free will. What free will are you talking about? When all the activities are run by ragadveshas, tell me where is the free will? The free will is bound. Only when you pray, the will is free, because you don't have to pray. The whole day you are praying, preying, upon things and situations and people and objects. When you pray, that is coming out of the free will which is not bound. When you give charity also, same thing. You don't have to give, but you are giving. That means what? There is a certain freedom there. In fact, sometimes the charity is given for a photo op. You give them a check, but you wait. They have to be in that awkward place, the receiver and the giver. All 32 teeth coming out. And the receiver is trying to pull the check without tearing it. The giver is not ready to let go until all the press has taken every single photograph. So there could be a little bondage in the will, but here in prayer, the will is totally free. So here, the Bhagavan does not have what? Compulsions. The doings of Bhagavan are without compulsions. This is to show that. Therefore, name asti kartavyam. I don't have anything I have to do. You also be like me. Study Vedanta, Arjuna, be like me. You also won't have anything that you have to do, that you absolutely have to do. It is not there. Name partha asti kartavyam. Where? Not only in this world, but in bhuvaha, suvaha, in all the three worlds. Bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, in all the three lokas. Trishu lokeshu, kinchana nasti kartavyam. Nothing is there to do. Why? The reason is given, the hetu for this, for not having anything to do for God, for Bhagavan, is given in the next verse. And that shows us all the reasons why people do things. Why do people do things? To get something in returns. So therefore he says, na anaptam. Aptam, gained. Anaptam, ungained. You see, if you want to negate something starting with a consonant, you just use the negative particle nanj a. But if it is starting with a vowel, what do you use? Un. In English also we have, but they use it for consonants. Unkind. Kind, unkind. Aptam, anaptam. Ungained. Whatever is ungained is called anaptam. Na anaptam. Not anything that is ungained. Aptavyam. Nothing that is there in my life is ungained. That aptavyam, that I have to gain. Remember, ling, lot, tavya. The tenses, moods and suffix which talk about injunctions or a compulsion, have to. The word have to will come. So therefore here tavya, kartavya is in the first line is contrasted by aptavya, kartavyam, aptavyam. Whenever, in other words, what is the rule? The rule of thumb is whenever there is something aptavyam, then there is kartavyam. Nice, no? Yeah. So whenever there is aptavya, there is kartavya. Aptavya means what? Something that I have to gain. I have to get this, otherwise my life is useless. I have to have this. That have to gives a certain pressure. A certain pressure it gives. And that pressure is the winding up of the person, of the jiva, by the raga dvesha. These two asuras called raga dvesha, they wind up, and then the person has to run, has to do this. And this pressure created by the raga dveshas in Sanskrit, in the Bhagavad Gita, is called vega. Shaknoti ihaiva yas sodhum praksharira vimokshanat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam. This is again, I don't know which verse it is, you can find out. So, Shaknoti, the one who is able to let go or to override the pressure, vega, of what? Kama and Krodha, which means what? Raga and Dvesha. Kama Krodhodbhavam, Udbhavam, born of Raga and Dvesha. Born of Raga and Dvesha, born of Kama and Krodha. Raga Dvesha turn into Kama Krodha. When does Krodha come? When Raga Dveshas are unfulfilled, Krodha comes. So Kama Krodhodbhavam, born of Kama and Krodha, the one who is able to override this Vega. So Sukhi Naraha, that person is the one who is happy. So this is a very good teaching, and so here also, as long as there is a feeling, kartavya, 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 then there is, behind that kartavya is what? Aptavya. Even if somebody says, I am a social worker, I am doing this for the benefit of the people, I am distributing clothes, I am distributing books and pencils for the children, I am distributing uniforms, I am going there, I am working in Goshala, and that is where I go every day to the Shala. That's what is called Goshala, because I go to the Shala, and then so I go and give bath to the cows. I do that. I have no ulterior motive in all these things. I don't want anything. I am also anaptavya. I have nothing aptavya. If you tell this, if they tell you this, you just say, okay, from tomorrow you please stop doing. What? They'll be in shock. Stop tending to the cows? Yes. Stop distributing uniforms and candies and all these things to the children? Yes. Stop helping underrepresented people in society? Yes. Stop. No, but who will do it? Somebody else will take up, don't worry. Or you tell them, I have appointed somebody else, you can stop. They will be the most miserable person right there. That's when you know that it is not the same. Because even in doing something for somebody, there is that feeling is aptavya. What is the feeling? I have done something for somebody. That feeling itself, it is not tangible. Like aptavya can be, that to be gained could be tangible or intangible. Tangible means, okay, some goodies, I want this, I want that, I want television, I want this, all these things. So here there are no goodies like that. But the goodie is the goody feeling. What is the goody feeling? I am a goody person. That feeling one is attached to. That is what one wants. So there is no altruism at all. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything is dear to me because of the pleased self. The self, the being pleased, therefore I do all these things. This we have seen in the Panchadashi, which we started in the last life. And so here, na anaptam, na avaptam, na anavaptam. Anavaptam means ungained, there is nothing there that has to be gained. Aptavyam, to be gained. Varte eva. Varte eva means I still remain active. Where? Karmani, in action. I remain engaged in action, even though there is no desire for me to fulfill. Why Bhagavan doesn't have desires? We saw in the last class. No sukshma sharira. We have to connect. No sthula sharira, no sukshma sharira, no bhoga ayatanam. Sthula sharira is the way, the abode where the locus where the sukha dukkha are experienced. So for Bhagavan, sthula sharira is not there. And then sukshma sharira is the karana through which everything is. Karana means instrument through which everything is experienced. No sukshma sharira, no sthula sharira, no karana sharira, therefore no desires. No ajnanam, no desires. But here he is standing, he has a body, Krishna is having a body. It is a magic body. Everybody's body, every body, pun intended, is born because of karma. Whose karma? Their own karma. Everybody is born because of their own karma, and avatara, Bhagavan is born due to other people's karmas. That's why if you look, there's always be some mystery about the birth. Lord Krishna's birth, mystery. Same thing, it has to be immaculate. Same thing with Jesus Christ also. Immaculate it has to be. Why does it have to be immaculate? Because it cannot be born the same way. The infallibility will go away. And so therefore, it will become another birth based on karma. Here, other people's karma become the cause of this magic body, which is going to be explained in the 4th chapter. The Avataravada is going to be explained in the 4th chapter, and very wonderful magic body, Punya body. What is this Punya body? The Punya body means the prayers of everybody. But why are people praying? Because the world is intolerable. When the world is intolerable, people are praying singularly and in groups. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, help, 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 where are you? You promised you will come and walk on this earth. Why haven't you come yet? And then Bhagavan will come when the yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya atmanam srijamyaham punah punah. Whenever there is a glani, like a neglect and a total disregard of dharma, I will come back to restore dharma in humanity, in the world. This is the promise. Why hasn't Bhagavan come yet? Because we are still studying Upanishad Bhashya, Gita Bhashya. That's why. There is a critical mass of people still given to dharma. When nobody is following dharma, then if you see Bhagavan, if Bhagavan comes, it's not a good sign actually. Yeah, that means the world is so badly off that we need Bhagavan to come and repair. It is beyond our repair. So that is the idea. So therefore, the body of Bhagavan here, Bhagavan Krishna standing there is a magic body of other people's punya that has come together to make this body. So therefore, immaculate birth, immaculate beingness. Okay, and as though taking on a role of a human being without that role overpowering one. See, Rama cried when Goddess Sita was as though abducted. What did he do? He hugged every tree and cried, "Have you seen my Sita?" First tree hugger in history. Okay, he hugged every tree. "Have you seen Sita? Sita, Sita?" He kept on crying. "Where is my Sita?" Kept on calling out Sita's name and crying, and then, but as though crying, performing the role of a bereaved husband whose beloved wife has taken away from him. He was performing a role. And so, like this also here, Lord Krishna in the whole Bhagavatam, and specifically for us in the Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata, is performing a role. Here also he is performing a role of Arjuna's guru, teacher. Okay, and so he says, therefore I have nothing to gain. I have nothing that is ungained that I have to gain, and then by extension there is nothing to lose which I have gained and now want to lose. There is nothing to keep at bay from gaining, like grey hairs, wrinkles, all these things. There is nothing to keep at bay. There is nothing to get rid of. There is nothing to want. There is nothing to desire to retain. All these four things must be there when we talk of desires. So, nothing is there for me, but look at me. What am I doing? And then I am still engaged in action. I am still acting. I am still engaged in action. Bhashya, small bhashya. Na me mama partha na asti na vidyate. Trishu api lokeshu kinchana kinchid api kartavyam na vidyate. There is nothing for me to do. Here we can look at Sanskrit synonyms. Okay, this bhashya is good for Sanskrit synonyms. What are the Sanskrit synonyms? Me is translated into mama. So, and then what else? Then na asti na vidyate, same thing. And then kartavyam trishu lokeshu api kinchana kinchit. And then kasmat, why? Na anavaptam. Anavaptam is what is the paryayvachi shabda? Apraptam, from ap, to gain. Either you put pra or an. Okay, anavaptam, apraptam, aptavyam, prapaniyam. Here is one more, what is that? One more suffix. What is that suffix? Aniyar, prapaniyam. Tathapi varte eva karmani aham. Still I keep on acting. I keep on doing something or the other. Whatever needs to be done, I pitch in. Look, right now I am driving your chariot. Look, I am your sarathi. I am your sarathi. I am driving your. Even now I am engaged in action as we speak. I am making the chariot go this side, that side, so that the arrows, I am saving you from all the arrows. So I am doing work even now. And then why should I keep doing this? Next one. Yadi hyaham navarteyam jatu karmanya tandritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushyav partha sarvashah utsideyurime lokaha na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami maaf prajaha. We'll see this tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.